How to squirt in 5 minutes or less. Let's begin. The most important part of Squirt's kit is her talent that forces her into teams that fully consist of Hydro and /or Cryo characters, which means that step 1 of building your Squirt team should obviously be to get yourself an Escoffier, whose dynamic with Squirt can be fully explained by this one image. Now, Squirt ideally wants to make use of the freeze reaction, but for us to be able to make enemies rock hard by freezing them with Squirt, we must also make them wet first, which we can achieve with a Hydro character, with the best alternative being Furina, due to her great ability at making people wet, which is exactly what we need. Now as for our 4th and last slot, well, it doesn't really matter. Basically any Hydro or Cryo option will work for your Squirt team, but the general rule is to alter this slot based on the content you are facing. Against this fucker, someone like Shenhe or Citlali are both great choices since they help with the Cryo application needed for the boss. Whilst against Master Oogway here, Xingqiu is the best option because of his Hydro application. But obviously other Cryo or Hydro units will still work, just not as well. Now you can also run your Squirt with Escoffier, Furina and Neuvillette for a dual DPS team. In this team however, you only use Squirt for her burst. Now with the Squirt team building established, let's move on and talk about how to gear your Squirt. Well, this should be rather obvious, right? There's literally a set made for her. Obviously, it's going to be that set that we decide to use. No, that's not the right set. Her real biz is in fact Marashusi Hunter. Well, so long you have Furina on your team, that is, and a healer. Now don't get me wrong here, her own set is still great and is still her best in slot outside of Furina teams. And the difference between these sets is close enough for either of them to be fine to use. Though most people already have a good Marashusi set, most likely. But her best in slot set is still great to farm if you plan to use Squirt without Furina. Granted, in those cases it's also worth mentioning that a real good gladiator set might still suffice as well, if you aren't willing to slave away in the mines. For a backup set, you might barely use on account that you ideally do want to use your Squirt with Furina. As for her weapon, her own weapon is obviously going to be her best in slot. Shocker, I know. But if you don't have or don't plan on getting her best in slot weapon, there are still a multitude of decent free-to-play options for you to choose, with some of them being on screen right now. Okay, so great, now gearing aside, let's move on to combat. Fortunately, squirting around in combat is actually quite easy. Start by using your skill and ult on all your supports, with the order you decide to do so in will obviously depend on the units in your team, so use common sense to figure that one out. And then finish off by activating Squirt's skill. By this point you shall already have 3 Void Rifts that can be absorbed by using your special ult. Now the tricky part is where exactly you should use Squirt's special ult. I personally like to use her special ult after her 3rd basic attack, though I know a lot of people like to do it after the end of her 1st basic chain. But do what you feel is best for you. Heck, use it before you even start basic attacking for all I care. It's not that big of a DPS difference, I believe. Obviously after this you just go ham spamming basic attack until you can have Squirt stuck on 2 balls. Wait. Hold up, that's Neuvillette, I mean absorb 2 more Void Rifts. Then just continue to spam basic attacks until her enhanced state runs out. And then repeat from step 1 with your supports. Oh, and remember, try not to break your basic attack chain by using your charge attack to absorb the Void Rifts in the middle of your basic chain like a dumbass. But yeah, that's about all for the scope of this quick little mini bite-sized guide on how to use your Squirt. If you're in need of a more in-depth guide, Sajef has a decent one that I recommend. Wait a minute, that doesn't say Squirt. Did he misspell her name? No, wait. These videos share the same spelling. No, don't tell me I've had it wrong this entire time. Oh fuck.
Please note that I stay to wait. Please note that I stay to see. Through all the changes, seasons, sun and rain, right here you stand. I am still here, waiting for